So I'm at a point in my life right now where I just simply do not rely on my motivation to get anything done long term, right? The truth is, motivation is an emotion, and emotions are something that's temporary. You're not going to be feeling like that every single day. So why would you try and achieve something, massive, or achieve something at all on something that's really temporary and it's not a stable foundation? So that's why it's important to build systems, right? You can't build a consistent life on an inconsistent feeling. And we've all had that feeling, right? Where it's 3 a.m. in the morning, you get this super crazy spurt of emotion and motivation, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna make this elaborate plan, I'm gonna change my life around, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and tomorrow I'm gonna wake up, and that's when we start. What happens? You wake up, you feel completely different, and it's kind of back to square one. Even if you were motivated for the first few weeks, whether it's a new diet, you're trying to cut down, you want to learn a new skill, you want to post content, you'll do it for like the first week or so, you'll get burnt out, and then you'll just stop doing it. Because why? Motivation is a finite resource. If you've not got a system in place, when motivation runs out, what you're left with? Nothing. You've got nothing to fall back on. Hence why everyone says, I'm going to start the gym. It's a New Year's resolution. I'm going to start the gym in January, first week of Jan. They start, they may do it for a couple months. By February, half of them have just stopped doing it. Why? Because they're relying on motivation rather than having a system in place that they execute daily. And yeah, man, listen, that's the story of life. If you want to achieve anything, consistency is key. All right. Every person who's ever been consistently productive in life will tell you that they don't rely on motivation. And why? Because we're human. We don't always feel up to it. We never always feel 100%. When it comes to the gym, this is what taught me how important consistency and structure is. Like, there's times where you will not feel like working out, but those are the times that it's even more important to put the work in or go to the gym. But why do I still go? Because I have a system in place where no matter what, I'm going to go to the gym 3 to 5 times on a weekly basis. And I'm going to do this on this day, I'm going to do that on that day. And that's a structure that I have, right? You know that saying where it's like, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems, right? And your habits. Habits come from the systems that you put in place if you're intentional with it. But like I said, going back to it, the people who have achieved the most in life, right? Whenever it comes to any particular domain, they will tell you that they rely on structure that makes the right behavior the path of least resistance, regardless of how you feel. Like, I'm gonna give you an example, right? For me, when it comes to making these YouTube videos, I know that if I get super finicky with editing and things like that, um, I'm not gonna record these videos because I have so much going on outside of YouTube in terms of work, and other things. I'm moving country soon as well. That if I spend time trying to edit these videos as well, put like crazy sound effects in, crazy edits, crazy memes, because my meme game is tier one. My meme game is amazing. However, I know if I do that, I'll probably do it for the first week because I'll be super motivated. But there's so much friction there that eventually I'm just gonna stop doing it, and I know that I'm not gonna keep it up over a long amount of time. So that's why I make this super low friction as possible. I just record it one take, no editing, and then I'll post it onto YouTube, and then I'll go about my day. So if you want to do something consistently over a long period of time, you need to make sure that you're choosing, make it super easy, man. This is like the, the one of the main things in the terms of Atomic Habits, the book, where you've got to make it easy and attractive. For example, a system that I want to implement as well, that I have been implementing is, okay, so I've got about 5 weeks until I move to Brazil, right? So I need to improve my Portuguese. That's what I've been doing. So I'm pairing a habit that I do every single day with learning Portuguese. So what I do is every day I do like an hour walk around my area, right? Just to get my steps in before I start my day. And whilst I'm doing that, I have like an AI tutor where I speak Portuguese with it. I'm learning Portuguese. So in that hour, whilst I'm walking, I'm also learning Portuguese. So I'm making sure that every day I'm getting at least an hour in of Portuguese. So it's super low friction. I'm pairing it with another habit, and it's a system. I don't need to rely on motivation. I'd rather do that, be consistent, do a small amount every single day, rather than being like, okay, this is the weekend, I'm not working. I'm gonna do a whole 6 hour session of just revising Portuguese. Like, how likely am I gonna be to actually go through with that, rather than making sure I'm doing an hour a day, which is guaranteed 7 hours a week, 14 hours every 2 weeks, and so on and so forth. So I'm making sure that no matter what, I'm compounding over time. That's all you've got to do, rather than rely on motivation where you know after a certain amount of time you're not going to stick with this and it just goes out the window. If you want to achieve anything in life, you've got to keep doing it even when you don't feel like it. You've got to make sure you've got a system in place that allows you to still progress whatever the weather. You don't want to have to rely on motivation, man. It's super finite. It's not going to be there for you long term as well. And it's what allows you to stick around in the game. Like, you know that saying with investors where they're like, time in the game rather than timing the game? It goes for all areas of life. If you got time in something, you're doing the reps on a consistent basis, you're going to be miles ahead of someone who tried to blow their load super early and they quit after a couple months. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to the gym, man, I see a lot of people that say to me, yo, like, how are you built like this, man? Like, this is crazy. How are you so big? I've been training for a long time as well, but I don't see any difference. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I've been training 4 times a week for 6 years. So how can I not have a good physique? It's impossible. It's impossible. It's unreasonable that if you're consistent over a certain amount of time, you're not going to achieve results. But then on the other hand, the people who are asking me the same question, they may have started around the same time as me, but they'll do 3 months on, 4 months off. They're super inconsistent. They will rely on their motivational bursts of energy, right? And listen, it's easy to do things when you're energized, when you're motivated. They will do those motivational bursts of going to the gym for a few months, then they'll stop, they'll fall back into their bad habits, and then boom, it's like back to square one. So it's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. And what's the net result of that? Over a certain amount of time, it ends up basically being your net improvement is 0. You just look the same, or you're making really slow progress, or you're actually regressing because your bad habits will stack up over time. So it's about compounding. And if you want to compound in anything that you do, you've got to stick in the game. You've got to build systems that are going to allow you to stick there for a long amount of time. So, a takeaway from this video, what you need to do is identify one behavior that you rely on motivation for, that you're inconsistent with, build a structural change around it to make it easier to do than to skip. And yeah, build from there. If you want to achieve anything, like I said, it's consistency. That's the key. And consistency needs systems to fall back on. No matter how you feel, if you can fall back on those systems, you're good. You'll be fine. So, catch you in the next video.